Welcome to the Raven for Ableton Live Software Quick Start Guide for Raven MTX and MTi. This video will get you quickly up and running so you can use these world-class multi-touch consoles with your Ableton Live sessions. Please be aware that we'll be performing our tutorial on the 27-inch Raven MTi, and some graphics may appear slightly differently on the 46-inch Raven MTX. However, the software functionality is the same for both consoles. Last, for details on attaching the Raven to your computer or audio interface, reference your Raven user manual, located in the Raven product of your Slate account. Let's begin. From your desktop, navigate to the Apple drop-down menu and click System Preferences. Select the Sharing folder and confirm that your computer has been named. If it has not, make sure to name your computer. Then, click Show All. If you're using OS X 10.9 or higher, click Security and Privacy. On the Privacy tab, select the Accessibility option on the sidebar and drag the following applications to the provided area from your Applications folder: Automator, Ableton Live, Raven, and Terminal. Note, Terminal is located in the Utilities folder within the Applications folder. If using OS X 10.7 or 10.8, click Show All and select Accessibility from the main System Preferences window. Then, confirm that the Enable Assistive Devices option is checked. Now, confirm vControl Pro is running and launch the Ableton application. Now, open the Raven MTX or MTi application associated with your hardware. From the drop-down menu, choose your Ableton Live version and hit OK. If you've calibrated for the dual Raven setup, simply check the dual option to the right of the DAW drop-down selections, then hit OK. It's important that you only check the dual option if you are using two Ravens and have already calibrated for dual, as explained earlier in this video. Please note, if your DAW drop-down options display gray, this means your iLok license is missing. Be sure your iLok is plugged into your computer when using your Raven and that you have registered your Raven iLok authorization code as explained earlier in this video. Note, if you have authorized multiple DAWs, these will also appear accessible. However, Raven for other DAWs will not be covered in this video. Click here for our playlist of Raven Quick Start videos for supported DAWs. To configure your Raven to synchronize with Ableton Live, touch Settings on the Raven toolbar and hit Raven Setup. This will automatically configure your Raven control surfaces and input and output ports. Now, under MIDI ports, we'll turn the input remote and track settings for the following to the on setting: macOS Control Input vControl, macOS Control Input vControl XT2, macOS Control Input vControl XT3. Then we'll set the output remote settings to the on setting: macOS Control Output vControl, macOS Control Output vControl XT2, macOS Control Output vControl XT3. Note, make sure all other devices and options are set to off. Once completed, our Raven is configured. Note, you must have configured your system preferences as discussed in the previous section for the automatic Raven setup to function correctly. To perform this setup manually, configure the following. Go to the Live drop-down menu and navigate to Preferences. Next, on the Preferences window, navigate to the MIDI Sync tab. Confirm vControl Pro is running now. Let's set up our control surface settings. In the first column, from top to bottom, select macOS Control, then macOS Control XT, and again macOS Control XT. Under Input, we'll select from top to bottom, vControl, vControl XT2, and vControl XT3. Lastly, under the Output column, select from top to bottom, vControl, vControl XT2, and vControl XT3. Next, navigate to the Takeover Mode drop-down area and select Value Scaling. Now, under MIDI ports, we'll turn the input remote and track settings for the following to the on setting: macOS Control Input vControl, macOS Control Input vControl XT2, macOS Control Input vControl XT3. Then we'll set the output remote settings to the on setting: macOS Control Output vControl, macOS Control Output vControl XT2, macOS Control Output vControl XT3, Note, make sure all other devices and options are set to off. Align to one toolbar and show the clip device window and move it to the lowest height while still being displayed. The Raven Setup button will automatically align your window for you. However, when opening new Ableton sessions, you may need to realign with the Raven toolbar. We've included an easy-to-use batch command that will do this for you. On Layout 4, which can be toggled to here, use the Set Ableton Screen Size Batch command to align the Ableton Live window to the Raven toolbar. If you've calibrated for the Raven Dual setup, once you've launched the Raven software, simply locate the Raven Mixer 1 display and the Live window, and then you can align it above the Raven toolbars using the setting Set Ableton Screen Size Batch command. We'll discuss the batch command system in more detail later in this training. The Raven faders are precise, smooth, and reactive with 5 millisecond response time and with support of up to 12 simultaneous multi-touch points on the MTX, up to 6 on the MTi, and up to 10 on the MTi-2. When mixing, I don't even have to keep my finger on the fader. It's easy to grab multiple faders from all over the console and control them however you feel comfortable, and you can do this without looking at the screen. On the Raven mixer, the pans are multi-touch and rotary. On the Ableton mixer, the pans are single-touch and linear, meaning they can be modified by moving vertically as displayed. The Fine Faders button allows for as little as half dB automation and moves easily because I can quadruple the resolution. To adjust the response of the Fine Faders, simply push and hold the Fine Faders button on the Raven toolbar and move the slider left to right, 1 being slowest and 20 being fastest. You can also activate the Fine Faders feature to specific tracks. Push and hold the dB display on the mixer and the single track will turn yellow, indicating Fine Fader mode. Press and hold again to remove just one track or double tap the Fine Faders button to remove them all. I can bank tracks by swiping on the lower third of the fader plate, using one finger to bank one track or 2 fingers to bank sets of 24. Note, if there are less than 24 tracks in the direction you're swiping, the Raven will not bank. You can use one finger to continuously bank in the desired direction, and Raven will continue until you stop. In addition to gesture banking, we've included banking buttons located on the Raven toolbar that can be toggled between 24 tracks and 1 track at a time. Push and hold either of the banking buttons like so to switch between the 2 variations. The icon palette is designed to encourage visibility and organization. Press and hold the black square beneath the track name on the Raven mixer until the floating icon palette appears. We've included a few tabs of new default icons as well to allow users to upload their own icons for use in their Raven sessions. Details on saving Raven sessions is explained in a later section of this video. To place an icon, touch to select the image and it will highlight yellow. Then either tap the icon space where you'd like to place the image, or swipe across multiple tracks to add the image to more than one as displayed here. To upload an icon to the palette, press the Browse button on the bottom right of the icon palette. Locate the image you wish to upload from the file browser and load it. The image is now located in your User tab on the icon palette. To place it, follow the same procedure as explained previously. With the Raven mixer showing, you can always access your plugins by hitting the yellow Audio FX button on the Raven toolbar. Your Clips and Devices area will be instantly visible and able to be adjusted as desired, or the plugin freestanding window will appear when loaded. The Clip and Device window will display the selected track's content. Here we can tweak the actual plugin controls easily. There's also a Hide Floating Window button on the Raven toolbar that will toggle the last floating windows opened either on or off. Always use this button when closing a plugin, as the close buttons on plugins themselves are too small for touch. Once the plugin is closed, you can use this again to quickly recall the last plugins you were using by hitting the button again, as already mentioned. To load a plugin, use the browser in Ableton to search and locate within the drop-down lists. Then, drag your selection onto the track on the Ableton Live window you wish to associate it with. When tweaking plugins, note that most function by single-touch linear adjustment. However, Slate and other developers will offer plugins with multi-touch and rotary capability in the future. I can solo or mute a bunch of tracks by swiping my solo or mute buttons. I can even skip a few tracks by moving my finger below the buttons and then continuing to swipe, easily skipping my undesired tracks. We've included great touch buttons to easily toggle between your Arrange and Session window views here, as well as your Clip and Device windows here. We've included the flip buttons on the bottom right of the Raven toolbars, which allow users to switch between the 3 main toolbars on each layout. To use, I'll hit the flip up arrow button and my toolbar changes. I can use these arrows to move through my toolbars quickly and easily across layouts. I can use my finger to easily grab any clip, break, and move them. I can also use my finger as the pencil tool to draw in automation lines and MIDI notes. On the Raven toolbar, we've included both our nav pad, designed for the toolbar, as well as a floating nav pad. Both function the same and can be used to navigate through one session. With one finger swipe left and right, I can zoom in and out horizontally on a selected clip. Using 2 fingers on the nav pad, I can scroll through this session up or down, left or right. When using the nav pad, you're not confined to the rectangular area around it. Activate the nav pad by touching inside the rectangle and then freely move outside of the designated area without lifting your finger from the screen. The nav pad is also capable of adjusting the response specific to the user's preference. Go to Settings on the Raven toolbar and press the nav pad response button. Adjust from 1 to 20, 1 being the slowest response and 20 being the quickest response. We have set the nav pad to default on natural movement settings. However, we have now included the option to invert the direction response by toggling to Inverse on the navpad response window within Raven settings. The Raven software is completely customizable. Simply hit the Customize Toolbar button on the right of the Raven toolbar, and you'll be able to freely relocate your controls to a custom design, and even save each customization as different layouts by hitting the Save Layout button and selecting a layout number you wish to save to. The layout is now saved to that number and can be quickly recalled at your discretion. You can have up to 8 unique layouts per Raven session and unlimited Raven sessions, allowing you unlimited layout capability. When saving your Ableton Live session, we've included a touch button on the Raven toolbar that will save your Ableton Live session information. We've also included a Save Raven Session button. This button saves a .rav lay file anywhere you choose on your computer. A Raven session contains information about what your layouts look like, which windows are displayed, where your floating tools are located, batch command location and contents, and even session icons saved. When making any changes to a layout, it's important to save those changes separate from the full Raven session. After changes have been made to a toolbar on a layout, hit Save Layout, and then overwrite the current one by touching the highlighted layout. You'll see the Save Layout light turn off as a confirmation of its saving. Once your layout is saved, you can save your Raven session. These multicolored and/or gray buttons are batch commands. The batch command system is a series of single buttons that can execute up to 1,000 key commands, menu selections, and mouse clicks. The Raven software comes equipped with over 80 preset batch commands. However, it is also very easy for you to create your own and even share them with other Raven users. In Raven settings, hit the Switch Default Layout button to select between various types of preset default layouts we've created for you that specialize in specific workflows. Blank is as it sounds, an empty layout for you to customize and save from scratch. Basic is the layout that will load when the software is first opened and restored to factory default. Here we've created 4 layouts that provide a basic approach to the batch commands to get you up and running quickly. Advanced is designed for the expert users and has 8 layouts of more complex batch commands that require a good understanding of how the batch command system works. Performance is designed for Raven users to have instant access to a live, performance-based template and toolbar. To use the performance layout, you'll need to download the Raven Performance Live set, which we've included in your Slate account area. Once downloaded, open the custom template, and then you can add clips to immediately begin using our custom, key-mapped beat pads. To program a batch command, push and hold one of the batch command buttons. If empty, the menu will appear blank. However, if you are overwriting a batch command with previous programming, hit the Clear All button in the batch command menu, and the button will be ready for programming. To enter a key command, hit the Key Command button on the batch command menu, and then enter your desired key command. To the right of the key command on the command line, you can add delay to the key command prior to launch or even add a number of repetitions you would like the command to perform before moving to the next line in the command sequence. Let's make a batch command to add our favorite plugin to a selected track. Press Key Command and enter the following script, Command F. Then we'll enter the name of the first plugin. I'll use the Slate Digital Virtual Tape Machines, but this can be any plugin you'd like. I'll hit Key Command and type the first word, Virtual. Then hit Key Command and on the keyboard press Spacebar. And now add the second word. Hit Key Command and enter the word Tape. Hit Key Command and on the keyboard press Spacebar. Hit Key Command and now we'll type the word Machines. Now let's add a bit of delay to give the computer time to search for the plugin. I'm going to add about 1,000 milliseconds here, but this can depend on your computer's processing speed. Now we just need to tell the batch command to select the plugin and load it. I'll hit Key Command and on my keyboard press Cursor Down. And lastly, I'll hit Key Command once more and press Enter on the numeric keypad. We'll give it a name and choose a color and hit Confirm. Now, when we hit our newly customized batch command, it will automatically add the Slate digital virtual tape machines to the next insert available on the selected track. In the batch command menu, you can also access preset batch commands as well as the custom batch commands you've saved. Touch the Quicklist button to open access to preset mouse click and menu items to program into your command line. Let's create a batch command that will add my favorite vocal plugin chain to my selected tracks and save it to our Quicklist user tab. First, hit the Quicklist button and in the search bar on the top, search for Add Compressor. Select it from the list and hit Select on the bottom of the Quicklist. Now let's search for Add EQ8. Select it from the list and hit Select on the bottom of the Quicklist and then close the Quicklist. Now let's name it Vocal Plugin Chain, give it a color, and hit Confirm. Now let's put it into action. Simply select the track you wish to add the vocal plugin chain to and hit our newly created custom batch command and watch it do the work for you. We've created tons of great preset batch commands across your layouts, and I've also shown you how to customize your own batch commands using key commands and Quicklist items. Another really powerful feature to the batch command system is the ability to record your own custom mouse clicks. Push and hold a batch command to open the batch command system programming menu. Now we'll hit the record button and watch the batch command system record your mouse clicks and key commands in the sequence you perform them. Once completed, hit the record button again and name your new batch command. This will save to your User Recordings tab for later use as well. Now I'll just add my new recording into the batch command line, give the button a name and color, and hit Confirm. Now watch my new custom recorded batch command perform a key command and mouse click. Not only can you save custom batch command scripts, but you can also save entire batch command panels to easily relocate them across your layouts. Push and hold the batch command panel's label until a dialog window appears. Here you can name and color code your batch command panel, and save them to your Quicklist by hitting Save. Hitting Save will locate your saved batch command panel to the Quicklist here. You can see the name and size of the saved batch command panels here. To add a saved batch command panel to an empty batch command panel, press and hold the label area of the batch command panel until the dialog window appears and hit Quicklist. Search and select the batch command panel you wish to load and confirm the size of the panel matches the Quicklist item selected by reviewing the size column. Once confirmed, hit Select. Now, just name your batch command panel and give it a color, then hit Confirm. Importing a batch command is simple. In the Batch Command System menu, hit Quicklist and select the User tab from the top. Now, hit the Load button and locate the .ravbc file on your computer. Select the file, and Raven will import the file into the User tab. Exporting is similar. From your User tab, select one of your saved batch commands and hit Export. This will save the file to your desired location and can now be shared with other Raven users. To go through our batch command basic training for Ableton Live, click here. For a comprehensive coverage of the basic preset layout, please review the user manual and videos located in Raven Settings here. In addition to the Raven toolbars, we've also included two fully customizable floating tool palettes. The first of the two is called the Floating Toolbar, and the other is called the Essentials palette. Both are designed for adding a select group of tools for managing screen real estate. I can add tools by, again, customizing my toolbar. When the tools are arranged on one or both of my floating tool palettes to my preference, I hit Customize Toolbar again, and my layout has been saved. I can then toggle them on and off by hitting the Floating Toolbar Essentials buttons on the Raven toolbar. The Floating Mixer is your direct access to multi-touch faders and pans in the project window. The Floating Mixer offers the same capabilities as the Raven external mixer, including the ability to swipe solos and mutes, and even adjust the size of the window itself by hitting the addition and subtraction buttons on the top left of the Floating Mixer. I can even gain access to my multi-touch rotary pan knobs by hitting the pan button on the top left of the floating mixer to toggle between automation and pans. The floating MIDI pads are designed for multi-touch performance. With a great real-feel quick communication, the floating MIDI pads are configured for customization. You can easily use the MIDI assignment feature in Ableton Live to map your clips to specific pads on your floating MIDI pads instrument like this. Now, the instructed clips will be referenced by your floating MIDI pads. The Raven software allows users to easily use multiple DAWs separately with their Raven. Currently, Raven is available for Pro Tools, Logic Pro X, Studio One 3, Ableton Live, Cubase, Nuendo, and Digital Performer for OS X. To purchase an additional DAW support, visit slatemt.com and click Raven Software from the Downloads dropdown. There is a Buy Now button at the bottom of the page that allows you to purchase an additional DAW passcode that you can then register and receive an iLock authorization code. Then, once purchased, you can switch between DAWs by going to Raven Settings and hit the Switch Raven button. Navigate to your desired DAW in the Raven drop-down menu and select it. Close the old DAW and open the new DAW. Then hit OK on the Raven DAW launch menu. The Raven software requires the following minimum computer requirements to function properly. Raven will not work on operating systems earlier than 10.7 OS X Lion. Mac Pro. On the MTX and MTi, we recommend computers produced after 2010 with a minimum of 2.3 GHz of processing power. A graphics card with a minimum of 512 MB of VRAM, such as the Intel HD 4000, and at least 4 GB of RAM. However, 8 GB of RAM is recommended. MacBook Pro and Mac Mini. On the MTX and MTi, we recommend a computer produced after 2010 with an i7 processor operating at a minimum of 2.3 GHz processing power. A graphics card with a minimum of 512 MB of VRAM, such as the NVIDIA GeForce GT 330M, and at least 4 GB of RAM. However, 8 GB of RAM is recommended. We are available for you to answer questions or comments Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, via our online support help desk, slatesupport.com. From all of us here at Slate, thank you for your attention, and welcome to the future of Studio Control.